Okay. So this is why I wanted to get your raw reaction. So I'm going to text you something. I had a pretty bad day on Friday and Saturday. They were very, what's the word? Just very emotionally exhausting days. And, at the end of the day, I was like, I'm going to order some food, right? And I don't think I had eaten, when I get upset, I lose my appetite. And so I don't think I had eaten since the morning. And I was, you know what I mean? So you know the deal. You're like, let's order out, right? So
I have a question. Is it that you are so, the upsetness is a distraction? Or is it it triggers a depression style thing where you're like, what's the...
I literally, it triggers it might be psychological, but I feel like it's physiological because I literally lose my appetite. The idea of eating is not appealing to me. And this has been going on my whole life. If I get really upset about something, I don't know if it's anxiety or what, but when an event happens that I don't expect, that's upsetting, I lose my appetite. But the fortunate part about all this is I'm 36 years old and I've been through a lot. And so at this point in my life, those things happen, but now I basically know how to deal with them. So by the end of the day, I wasn't very upset anymore, but I was exhausted, emotionally. I'm always, for some reason, I feel like I'm always being offered free trials of Uber Eats or Grubhub or DoorDash or whatever. So whatever
I'm things that do the same thing.
Yeah. So whatever I'm using is dependent on whatever free trial I'm going to get. So another part of this context is for some reason, side note, I don't understand how these businesses give out so many free trials. Because I feel that's a whole other conversation, obviously. But I feel there's so many businesses that I've used only with free trials, and they keep offering them to me. And I'm like, when are you guys going to get that I'm never going to give you money? I don't know if they just consider it an advertising cost or something like that or what. But, okay. So I order food. And I used Uber Eats. Have you ever used Uber Eats? Or
I used Uber Eats yesterday.
Okay, so perfect. So you are familiar with the user experience,
Yes, somewhat. Yes, certainly. Yeah.
All right, so now's the time. I'm gonna send something to you, and just so you know, I ordered food, and then I got this notification.
Okay. Oh my god, I can't wait. Here we go. Holy shit! Oh my god.
Can you read what the screenshot says?
Yes, I can. Oh my god.
Can you read it out loud for me?
Okay, yeah, I'll read it out loud. Okay, so what I'm seeing is clearly a screenshot from the Uber Eats iOS app, and it has a little image of it's a little notification, and it says keep your phone nearby in case Hitler, in all caps, needs to reach you. Keep your phone nearby in case Hitler needs to reach you. That's incredible.
Dude, so I
odds?
received this notification and I was immediately awash with terror. As if it's imagine me sitting at my desk chair. I knew, I am an adult. I knew that Adolf Hitler was not going to try to reach me.
He wasn't. Probably not. Not likely. Yes.
But I immediately felt a response, a bodily response, he was going to. Historical, awful person Hitler was going to try to reach me.
Try to reach you. Hayes Borkowski. So let me just make sure. So it's not like you were thinking, how funny would that be? If Hitler was trying to reach me. You were like, you felt a inner terror.
Yeah, I felt scared.
Somehow the Hitler,
yeah,
was trying to get to you, was trying to somehow connect or contact you.
Intellectually, I knew that wasn't true. Emotionally, It felt true.
Wow.
And so it just like immediately made me think like this is a really interesting topic of conversation, because it's like, of course there's all this conversation about like how you're treated differently based on your name, if it's like maybe indicates any kind of thing, like feminine, masculine, if it's like indicates a culture of some sort that people might be prejudiced against, whatever. So yeah, all of that is plenty of things you can talk about, but specifically, what if your name is Hitler?
What a choice. Yeah, no, I mean, what?
I'm just like, so this is like beyond my name implies something, and bigoted people have unconscious bias or perhaps conscious bias, whatever. Very conscious bias. But this is more like my name is the same as who most of society thinks is the worst person who ever lived. Right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, pretty. I mean, at least Western
and
society.
I am going to, yeah, exactly. Like, Western society for sure. Mm-hmm. I'm going to become a gig worker, and I'm not going to change my name.
Nope.
And so,
yeah,
this is the next notification I got.
Oh my gosh, it keeps going.
It keeps going.
Okay.
So here's the next one.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. Okay. I'll read this one, too. Holy shit. So this is on your lock screen here.
Yeah.
So that's honestly even creepier just there. You haven't even opened your phone.
I almost spit out my water.
If we're like playing along, if we're indulging here for a second in like the creepiness or like the almost paranormal or metaphysical aspect of this, it's even creepier that it's on your lock screen here. So then it's like it says time sensitive, knock knock, and then a picture of a door, and then it's time to meet Hitler, again all caps, at the door. Jesus, you can't even write this. You couldn't write that.
And so at that point, I had already had, thoughts go through your head just automatically. I had already been like, I don't want to meet this person. Like, I feel scared. And then I get this, and then and I knew that was completely unreasonable. Like, I knew it was not based in anything to be scared of this person.
No, it's honestly, it's like irrational.
Oh, totally irrational, right? Yeah. 100%. That was the word that I was looking for. And so I'd already thought about that and been like, I could just, ring the buzzer for him and he can like leave it inside. And then I was like, no, that's like, I was just doing all that stuff that you do in your head. That's like when you're having like sort of a conversation with the irrational version of yourself. And I was just trying to forget about it. And I was just like, this is just a normal person. And then I got that message. It said, knock, knock, it's time to meet.
Just in case you've done a little bit of emotional work to like get yourself together, here comes another one. We're going to take this even further for you.
Yeah. And, funnily enough, I was like, yeah, I'm going to go meet this guy. But he had dropped off the food before I could even like open my door. So Hitler was incredibly quick. Uh-huh. And
okay, here, let's do a quick.
He was gone in the dark of the night.
No, let me do a quick. Let's talk about this for a second. Who knows? I mean, maybe you saw how often this guy delivers. Maybe you saw that. It says 1,000 deliveries.
Oh, I literally did not look at any of that.
Didn't look at any of that.
I must have been so shocked that like I didn't even consider any of that stuff.
Well, let's assume that Hitler is just an average Uber Eats or these guys. They make, even the average one will make hundreds of deliveries.
Right.
And I'm guessing that there is. How much would you say? This is a question. What percentage of people, when they receive these notifications, are like, oh my God, I have to meet this person. Like, I have to open the door and see who Hitler is.
Probably a good amount.
There's some people who want that, right?
Yeah, no, exactly. Like, I had that thought. I was like, part of the reason, it wasn't just like that irrational fear that he was actually...
Right.
He was actually Hitler from the 30s. Like, there was also this part of me that was like worried that if I met him, the first thing I would do would be like, I can't believe your name is Hitler.
Yeah,
and know, exactly, like, know that that was something that he heard all the time. And like,
yes.
I don't want to, like, I wouldn't want to put that on him.
Exactly. See, that's why I think he was so fast. Is that I'm guessing there's probably a not inconsequential percentage of people who are like trying to like be like, hey, wait, man, wait. Is your name really Hitler? And he's like, oh my God, I don't want to talk about this anymore.
But
like,
he doesn't care enough to like not use a different name. Like,
that's true.
I'm sure it doesn't have to legally be his name. Like, I'm sure when you work for these companies, you could use like a nickname or something. Like,
right, you could change that.
Right, and or is it the opposite? Was he like, I go by Hitler? Like, is his name something else? And he was like, no, I go by Hitler.
Yeah, I mean, it's either that or it's somebody
like he's a troll. I don't mean that he's necessarily a Nazi. I mean, like, maybe he's like...
No. I mean, look, so maybe I'm out of my depth here, but I also think that because delivery driver for Uber is a job that you can do without really, without necessarily being from this country, right? And you could be from another country and not speak a lot of English in that country, but you could still, get your driver's license and have a car and drive around. Like, it could be that there are just certain people where that's like a relatively common first name, or at least a lot more common than here, that is just like was named that, and like maybe is somehow naive to that fact. Do you think that's possible, or is that crazy?
I mean, literally anything in life is possible, right? Like, if it's not breaking the laws of science, which is sometimes probably...
Is it reasonable? Is it like...
I don't think it's reasonable to think someone would not know who Hitler was, unless they were like a 12-year-old who somehow had missed it or something. I just don't think that that's reasonable. Okay, here's another thing. I've never thought about the etymology of Hitler. You lived in Germany. Like, did you ever meet a Hitler?
No, anyone with the name Hitler changed their name after the war.
Right, so it's just like...
all of the descendants of Hitler, actually, or all relatives of Hitler, anyone remotely blood related to Hitler, all decided to not carry on, to not have any more children.
Yeah, and so it's like, I now have this like incredible mystery. Who is this person? Is this their given name? Is this their last name? Is this a nickname? Is this... I think the thing that I wanted to like tease out and talk to you about was just like that choice, no matter if it's like really this person's name or not or whatever, it's just like literally such a bold choice to be like showing up at people's homes with like a wild name that like invokes fear in people.
It truly, I mean, if they know what they're doing, then honestly, I kind of hope that they're enjoying it. But here's a funny thing. So like let's talk about the copywriting of the marketing or whatever team, the product dev team that created the little notification. Like, the scarier the name is, the scarier that those things sound. Like, and they would sound totally innocuous if it was like, Devin or something.
I know, that was like half of what was so funny about it. It's like
they're not thinking about that.
It's really like totally harmless and normal and kind of cheery to say, keep your phone nearby in case blank needs to reach you. But then when you make it keep your phone nearby in case the devil needs to reach you, or like something like that, it's like, now it's like quite sinister. So,
but also the knock with the ellipses of the door. I don't know.
And something that's really funny about the knock one is it reminded me some months ago, I had a really visceral dream that Hitler killed me.
Oh, get the fuck out of here. Really?
He chased, we were in a house, I guess. He chased me up a flight of stairs, and then I think he shot me. And then I died in my dream.
You died all the way dead?
I was literally all the way dead. And in the morning, I thought it was the funniest thing in the world. Because how stupid and stereotypical is Hitler killed me? It's like, you're a nightmare.
It is really funny. It is really funny. I'm glad that you
and somehow it's funnier that he chased me up a flight of stairs and then shot me. Like, I don't know what.
I'm gonna get you.
Like, literally the dream was Hitler being like, I'm gonna get you. And then and it was this dream that was like, I don't know, you know how in dreams you're like familiar with where you are in the dream, but when you wake up you're like, I don't know where I was, you know? In the dream, I don't know if I was in my own house, but I was certainly like in a house I was comfortable in. And then Hitler shows up and chases me and shoots me. And so it's like not that different from like the knock. Hitler's knock Hitler's here.
Yeah, I mean, I can even see the chase, and then you're like behind, you know, he chased you up a hill, you said?
No, just up a flight of stairs.
Up a flight of stairs, right. Well, so, okay, what's at the top of a flight of stairs? Clearly a door. You run behind the door, and then...
We both went into whatever room it was, and he just pulls a gun and shoots me.
Yeah, just pulled the gun out. He's like, enough, I've had enough chasing.
He's like, you're the last person that I needed to kill.
Complete.
Yeah, I have completed it. Yeah, of course, like, obviously, like, you know, it's just like a dumb nightmare. It doesn't make any sense. And the funny part is, like, it's not like I watched like a World War II movie recently or anything. Like, I honestly, like, avoid a lot of the Nazi talk in the news because it's really upsetting.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm binging like stories about like neo-Nazis or anything. But what's funny is, like, I mean, honestly, like, Hitler is such like a big historical figure that he's just embedded in my brain. And for some reason I was having some sort of distress and was having a nightmare, and my brain it's like a slot machine, and like chose Hitler as the villain. And that's to me what makes it...
That's good. Yeah, a slot machine. Your brain, it's great. It's like, all right, what's in this bin? What's in the little...
But bring it back to, like...
Dropping the mechanical claw down into the stuffed plush toys of villains of history and pulled out.
Yeah. And that's, like, what makes it so wild to me to, like, go around... in Western society, modern day, as Hitler, because you're going to be evoking these sort of like thoughts and feelings in people. And like, you're probably just a guy. I'm going to bet Hitler, the Uber Eats driver, was like a normal person. I'm going to just take a wild guess.
Definitely just a normal person. Yes. Yes. That I would bet on that too.
Yeah. And so I don't know. I got one more screenshot for you. So,
okay, yeah, please follow it up.
I think I had I think I'd forgotten about it and then opened Uber Eats like a couple days later.
Oh my God! Of course. How could I not anticipate this?
Can you read it out
loud? Yes, I will read it. So it's just very simple. It's asking you, how was Hitler's service?
And I can give a thumbs up.
Give a thumbs up for good delivery.
And then what does it say below that?
And then right below that, get help. It's just ostensibly a hyperlink. And I would, it's like the temptation to touch that. But unfortunately, I think if you did, you'd be disappointed. You wouldn't receive the type of help you needed if you really... We're really under threat of a Hitler.
I don't know that I would ever like hire somebody named Hitler. Like, I know that's not legal. That's discrimination. Mm-hmm. But like, I'm just being honest that like, like I think that would be a turnoff for me.
That's a big, yeah. I mean, if it was, you wouldn't want to hire him in a customer-facing position. That would be a weird move.
Yeah, can we call you Harry or something? I don't know, like.
Right, no, if there was some sort of, right, if you know that their name is going to be out there.
Yeah, I would say, like, Hitler, do you have a nickname?
Yeah, exactly. Let's talk nicknames. Your resume looks great, by the way.
I've heard of people being like getting hired and somebody's like, do you have a nickname? We already have like 3 Johns here. I would hire Hitler and be like, look, we got 3 Hitlers here.
Yeah. That would be so good. Oh my God. Oh, yeah.
Well, that's all honestly, that's all I got about this topic, I think. But I just thought it was like too fucking funny, man.
It's hysterical. And it is truly, I was truly shocked. I'm so glad you didn't tell me until we were rolling. But it's the one thing that this does remind me of. Not the one thing, but one thing it reminds me of is just thinking about. I can't remember if it was Uber or if it was some other rideshare sort of thing. But with those rideshares, the people's names, and there may be if they do give rides, it may be that they do have to have their legal name or their given name for some licensing reason. I don't know. I never looked into it. But I do know that a similar thing that is I think probably more common is people named Adolf or Adolfo with an F.
I've gotten Jesus like Jesus before, and that makes me feel different. Right?
Sure. Well, that's super common. Actually, side note on that, because I'm fucking from New Hampshire. I never met anyone named Jesus until I lived in Chicago, and I had no idea that it was so common. But it's really common. And then I talked with Francesca about it, who obviously grew up in Chicago. She's like, yeah, that's no big deal. There's like 1 million Jesuses. Mm-hmm. It's like super common in Spanish-speaking countries and ethnicities to name their children that. So I was like, oh, interesting. So Adolfo, though, Adolf is not as common as Jesus. And I think that...
And probably more common than Hitler.
It's definitely more common than Hitler. But there's definitely... I think there are some... don't quote me on this, but, you're recording me, so whatever. But
you will literally be quoting.
Like, if you were to look at the actual statistics of the number of Adolfs or Adolfos around the world that are still, like, kind of around, it's like it tends to be in Argentina.
Oh.
It's much more common.
Which is where a lot of Nazis went after, right? A lot of the
Nazis fled to.
Yeah.
So that is part of the reason why I don't know for sure. I really don't know. And honestly, Hitler as a first name is just wild to me. But, part of me just thinks, like, this is someone was named this by their parents, either knows it, but it's not a big part of their life.
Yeah. And
they just haven't changed it because they didn't grow up necessarily in our school system, which I agree with you, is like, if there was ever something that made one guy the cause of every, like, the worst shit in the world, and we like focus on like the worst guy that ever existed, Adolf Hitler is it. I think that it makes me think, like, before Adolf Hitler, which is, Adolf Hitler, his whole thing was less than 100 years ago.
I love that you called it his whole thing.
His whole thing. Like, the way that history was taught was like, I don't know. I mean, who was Adolf Hitler before Adolf Hitler? There were the way that history is taught. And I'm not saying this is a bad thing. I think this is a good thing. I mean, obviously, we need to know. People need to be taught very, very definitively about this. What went down. But, like, there are probably lots of places in the world where they don't teach it like that. They just don't. It's just not as big of a deal. It's not as big of a piece of the curriculum, I guess you could say. Do you think that that's crazy? I don't know. It might be.
No, it's possible. And, like, if you some people the older I get, the more I'm understanding that some people just don't go to school at all. So
True.
There's that aspect of it too.
Yeah.
Whether it be from actually not going to school or like just missing a lot of school.
Right.
Or being taken out of school and put back in because you're in an unstable household or whatever.
Homeschooled.
Yeah, I mean, there's
a lot more homeschooled people than I thought there were in this country, at least.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, my first instinct was that, and like, I didn't want to talk about this to like try to solve a mystery. It was just like, wow, dude, I would think that like life would be easier if you changed your name.
Yeah, probably.
And just like thinking about this idea of like this person would probably have more positive opportunities if this wasn't their name. Probably. And
yeah, no, there's definitely going to be some roadblocks.
Yeah. And so just my thought process is like, you know, if you have what I think a lot of people would consider like an easy choice about changing your name or whatever, like what would be the reasoning that you wouldn't do it? And my thought process is that genuinely, I think that this person is like one of those people who just like doesn't care. Like this, like, yeah, whatever. You know, you meet those people in life that are like, yeah, whatever, who cares? Bothered. Yeah, like, you know, some people like their last name is Butts and they like really hate it or whatever.
Right.
And then you meet somebody whose last name is Butts and they couldn't care less that their last name is Butts, you know?
Yes.
Like,
yes, and bless them. And thank God. And I wish that for the people who care.
Well, that's the thing.
They find a way not to.
Yeah. I don't know. There's something really like almost admirable about I have this
Taking
name.
It in stride.
Yeah, like damn, we could go forever with, like hypotheticals with this. Like, what if he's like, I'm gonna be the one to change the public's opinion on the name Hitler?
Oh man, I don't know. I'll be the one. I think that would be. I would encourage. I would find that an admirable and courageous thing to try to do. I guess, you know, that's bold. Mm-hmm. But I would have to call into question that analysis of societal change. I just don't think that,
I agree.
We're all going to forget about Hitler because of not because of one guy trying to change our mind, I think. Or unless, if he cured cancer? If he made the cure for cancer, maybe everyone would be like, you know what, Hitler's not a bad name. What do you think?
That would be sick, honestly. Like, dude, imagine if the person who cures cancer's name is Hitler. That would be like, everybody would be so into that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There would definitely be at least one new Wikipedia article with a disambiguation.
Yeah, Hitler disambiguation.
Yeah.
That's a good band name, Hitler, parentheses
disambiguation. Oh my God. No, but I mean, I'm also thinking of like, just, you're in Chicago, right? And mm-hmm. you had this reaction to this. What if he everyone uses Uber Eats all over this. What if he goes to like West Rogers Park, to like the Orthodox Jewish community, and they're like ordering Uber Eats? You know that like some shit is going to go down. You know that someone's going to have a problem with that, right? They're got to. Someone's going to complain and make things difficult. I don't know.
There are so many implications to this. And even if we just get like super tiny about it, at minimum, like maybe you're not going to get a tip because your name's Hitler, you know? Like,
and it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it on the plumber.